Yo, what's up? It's your boy Bon Appy back with another Be Advised, back in the relationship streets. We are zoomed in, locked and loaded. Let me know what you think if you liked it zoomed in or if you liked it zoomed out. I figure this would look a little better if someone wants to read along with me instead of having to see all those ads. Um, you know the drill. Please like. If you are listening, please like. Not a ton of listeners yet, but do appreciate everyone who is watching, listening. Please remember to like the video, it helps. Um, let's get it. Do I, 21-year-old, 24-year-old female, have to end my relationship with my 26-year-old boyfriend, male, because of lack of sexual desire? That's pretty young. Excuse me. I've been with my boyfriend for a year and a half now. He is everything I could ever want. We live together full time, as he works from home. I'm cabin crew, so he is always home when I get back. I don't know what cabin crew is. I absolutely love spending time with him, and I wouldn't want this to change. He really is the love of my life. When we first met, the first 10 months really, we were having sex 4 to 5 times every time we saw each other. The passion was incredible. I never had this before. Then he moved in with me and it slowed down to once a day after a couple months. Okay. After living with each other, we only grew closer and I really fell in love with him as a person. No arguments, uh, just pure love. Okay. However, I no longer feel the desire to have sex with him as much anymore. He often wants to try it, and because I'm just not in the moment and we aren't connecting like that, I couldn't get in the mood, and obviously I cannot force it. One of my friends told me that I'm just acting as a robot if I do the deed in that sort of manner. Oh, good old friend advice. Um, no build up, no nothing. No build up, nothing. But I feel absolutely terrible. I know it knocks his confidence, and I have spoken to him about how I feel. We now have sex once every 3 days, but when we do, it's usually built from an intimate moment we shared, and then I have the best, most mind blowing sex with him again, compared to a midday quickie that I don't really get anything out of anymore. There's nothing going on for me when it's like that. It feels like a chore. Is it a problem that sometimes I'm not feeling sexually attracted to him and don't want to have sex all the time, even when he does? Okay, so the question you asked to start your article and the question at the end are completely different. The one at the end is a lot more realistic. So let's just, there's so many things I could talk about here. So, for starters, um, you know, when you guys were, the first 10 months, right? You guys weren't living together, you're new, you're in that honeymoon phase, you're gonna be fucking like rabbits. Um, that's normal. You know what I mean? You guys probably didn't see each other every day, so when you did, there was a lot of built up tension, and it's a long distance thing, so it's like there's a lot of build up. Every time you see each other is a special occasion, so that changes when you live together and you see each other every day. It's going to slow down a little bit. Now, once a day is not bad. You said it slowed down to once a day, and then now it's like once every 3 days. Let's say twice a week. But it seems like you're very, like most women, I feel like the sex has to be the right moment. You have to be in the mood. It has to be emotionally driven. Things that trigger you to want to have sex. Otherwise, if you have sex outside of those moments, you're not going to get much out of it. So I understand this again. I'm a man, so I guess I'm giving a man perspective on this. I completely understand where you're coming from, and it is different when both people are in the mood and wanting to have sex than it is when one person does and the other person doesn't really, but they just do it because, whatever, as a favor. It is a different feeling. I completely understand. What you're going to, I would say, realize in these long-term relationships with men is that we have different sexual needs. Um, it typically seems like for women, at least from my experience, that um, you guys are more quality over quantity when it comes to sex, right? Um, as long because it doesn't seem like the amount of sex because you listed that you guys used to have a bunch of sex at the beginning, but what you loved about it was the passion, right? The passion and the energy and all that stuff. Even when it went down to just once every 3 days, you still loved it when it was mind blowing for you when it went off of an intimate moment. So for you, it's more about quality, not quantity. For men, it's more about quantity than quality. So there's going to have to be some sort of middle of the road. Your friend is right. It is robotic when you do things for your partner that you don't really want to do just for their sake, but that is a big part of being in a relationship with somebody else. Think about it like this: the times that you might have sex with your man, not be, even though you're not in the mood, but you know that he really needs it, are the same thing when your man goes and does a hobby with you that you know he doesn't really want to do, but he just does it for you anyway. The times we'll use stereotypical stuff, right? The times he goes on a shopping trip for you on the weekend, and you know he doesn't really want to, but he's doing it because you want to. Um, Again, I can't tell you how to live your life. What I would say is we have different needs that need to be met. It sounds like yours is more of a romantic, passionate sex that you're looking for, and that's great, but that can't always happen. Um, and life will get in the way of that. I would just communicate with your man on what his needs are, and you need to meet in the middle. You know, he can do more to kind of spice up things and make it more passionate and more you know, fun for you to get you in that mood, but there are going to be times, if we're going to keep it real, there's going to be times where you're going to have to throw that thing at him and you don't want to, just to make sure that he's getting his needs met also. You got to meet in the middle of the road. You know, you're getting into, a year and a half into 2 years, so starting to get into a long-term deal. Uh, you have to find a, sometimes you got to do stuff you don't want to do because the other person wants to do it. And in time, you might find that satisfying your man might be something that, uh, or satisfying your partner is something that you feel good about. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't know. We'll leave it there. I don't want to get too into detail about things, but let me know what you guys think about that take. I was trying to be as nice as possible, but man, boy. Let's see. What else do we got here? Are we reacting at my mom? I read that one. Let's see. Ooh, I don't know. Oh, that name is kind of wild. How do my husband, Mel, and I, we hate his fucking guts. Let me see. Need navigating. Ooh, a threesome? Okay. How long is this one? Dang. Okay. We'll try to get through this one quick. Where are we at? 8 minutes, 9 minutes? Okay. 32-year-old female and husband, 39-year-old male, need help navigating emotional fallout after a threesome in my marriage. Oh boy. Maybe I should read this one just so I don't ruin a possible future threesome attempt. I'm a 32-year-old female married to my husband's 39-year-old male for 7 years. Okay. So you were 25 and he was 32. We have a child together. Over the years, my husband has been very fixated on having a threesome, specifically male, female, male. That's that is okay. That's weird. Okay. Hey, okay, cool. He would bring it up often, watch threesome porn, talk about it during sex, and really push the idea for a long time. I wasn't interested at first, but after years of him bringing it up, I agreed for once. Okay. Uh, second last week. Um, okay, I don't know what that means. He arranged for a man to meet us at a hotel. There was no detailed discussion beforehand about how it would go, how it would all go, and which I now realize might have been a mistake. Yeah. We ended up having sex twice with the other man, both times as a threesome. A few hours later, the other man initiated intimacy again while we were all on the bed. My husband said he wasn't up for it and told me to go ahead without him. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. I know he said you can do that, but so I did. We had sex a third time, just the two of us. The next morning, my husband's behavior had completely changed. He became cold and distant. Oh my God, bro. After 2 days of trying to figure out what was wrong, he finally told me he felt I had cheated on him. And man, okay, let me just finish reading it. He accused me of wanting to be with the other man more than him and said I crossed the line. We had a huge argument, and things have been terrible since. It's been 19 days with no intimacy, barely speaking, and lots of tension. A lot of tension. I feel emotionally drained. I agreed to something I wasn't initially comfortable with because I trusted him and wanted to fulfill something he deeply wanted. Oh my God, man. See, this is why women don't be wanting to do that stuff because dudes like this. Now I'm being blamed for it. I'm starting to feel resentful and questioning the whole marriage. I'm also scared of what this means for our child and our future. Um, I think I think about divorce. I think about divorce. Other days I just want to fix things, but I don't even know how to approach him and make him understand that was never my choice, etc. He was the one who pushed it into pushed me into this in the first place. Please, I need serious advice from people who have been through something serious, similar, or can offer an outside perspective how I can make everything right again. So we're gonna stop that right there before we get to the update to see how things shook out. So you are not in the wrong here, but this is what I will tell you. And this is not from experience because I have yet to cross that line. Male, female, male, female, male is wild, by the way, but okay. um, do not have sex with the other person alone. That is probably the cardinal rule of any sort of threesome. It is always everyone or no one, right? Now, I get it. You guys were all on the bed, and the guy said he wanted to go again, and your husband said, no, it's okay. Y'all two F. And that's why I'm not blaming you for this because your husband, if he didn't want you to do it, should have said, hey, nah, man, we're good. But he said, it sounded like he was saying that y'all could go do it but in his head he was like testing you, like, oh well, I don't want to, but I'm gonna see if she's gonna fuck him without me, and then you did, and then he got his little pride hurt. So he's stupid for that. Again, these are the guys that ruin it for every other guy. So I really do feel sorry for you here. I apologize uh that you had to deal with this, but this is what I'll say just in general to go forward. You gotta just bring it up. Hey man, I didn't want to do it in the first place. I'm sure you've already said that in your initial argument. And when the guy asked to do it again and you said that it's okay, I just didn't want to ruin the mood. So I did it. I thought that's what you wanted. But if you're gonna be mad about this, you brought this, like, you can't really fix it for him. You really just have to tell him to nut up or shut up at this point. You're the one that wanted this, and now you're upset. So yeah, that probably wasn't extremely helpful, but let's see what the update is. Last night, as someone suggested, I left my husband a note apologizing and asking for forgiveness on his side of the table because he is sleeping in the other room since that night. Okay, left a note. I would just bring it up, but okay. I told him from the heart that I would never agree to anything like that again and how deeply I regretted everything. I couldn't sleep early this morning before his son woke up. He was already up and I just broke down crying in front of him. I told him I couldn't keep living like this and asked if he was considering divorce. He told me no, he wouldn't divorce me, but said he's still not in an emotional state to go back to how things were. He told me he keeps sleeping in the other room for now, um, and asked me not to initiate anything intimate as it still reminds me of the incident. Okay. I agreed. I made a breakfast and we had it together afterwards without any talk, which felt like a small step forward. I truly hope things can start to heal from here, even if slowly. Thanks again for the kindness and perspective. It means more than I can say. Well, that I guess that's not a bad ending. Leaving a note on the side of the table. Um, I mean, it sounds like you ended up having to confront him anyway. As you said, you woke up and you just gotta talk to people, bro. My advice is always going to have something like, hey, go talk to them. Go bring it up. Bring it up. There's no point in this sign, like you have to communicate here. But yeah. Um, Moral of the story is don't have male, female, male threesomes. They're just bad news. But let me know what you guys think. This one ran a little long. I'm out. This one ran a little bit long, but I'm out. Appreciate you guys for watching. Peace.